Everybody out there that's listening, this is Information Man. We have Sister Melissa on with us. She is the mother of Danye Jones. You've heard me do some streams talking about the issues of what has happened in St. Louis, where the sister lives. Her son was lynched. Her son was mistreated. Sister Melissa is an activist. She was involved in the Ferguson movement in protest. And this seems to me to be a retaliation for her activism, that they target her family. And we heard her on other interviews speak upon how that there were white men, they were circling her home, stalking her family. And I'm calling for everybody on YouTube, on Black YouTube, everyone out there to support this sister, to give her your support. We need to ask questions because there is something that is not right that is going on down in the St. Louis area. There have been at least, Sister Melissa, I heard you say that there's about at least up to seven activists that have been mysteriously killed or come up deceased. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. Brother Muhammad, can you take over from here and give opening statements? I know this is really heavy right now for all of us. I don't there's nothing I can say. There's no words that I can say. Go right ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. Thank you. And I want to thank everybody that's on the panel. We want to thank our warrior queen, Sister Melissa. And we all have to understand, the enemy just had a so-called New Year's. And so we should understand where we are at this current time and our time here in America. As I have said earlier today, since our brother Danye was murdered, there has been 23 other Black people killed by the police. And a lot of those names, nobody don't even know. They don't even understand or put the dots together. When we're sitting here and we have Sister Melissa here, she is more than just an activist. She is way more than just an activist. This thing that we're fighting for justice, and we need to understand what justice is and what justice looks like. Because if we fail at getting Danye justice, then that means all of our lives are still at risk. This is a war that we are in, and it's about time that we begin to deal with it as a war. Mm-hmm. And so when we look at our sister, our queen warrior, Sister Melissa, we know she's real. And she's not coming out as other people have done and given the apologies or given the forgiveness while the slain are still gone and their memory being besmirched. And as she said on the interview, saying that our brother committed suicide is disrespectful to him. It's disrespectful to the man that he was and the man that he was becoming. And so it gives me great honor and pleasure to be able to stand with our great warrior queen, Sister Melissa. Peace and blessings, Queen, and welcome to the panel.
Thank you for having me, Queen.
Brother Gab, you have any words you would like to say, brother, as we begin?
I just welcome the sister to the panel, and I want to remain in a place where I'm supporting. I don't actually have a lot of words. Let's get on with the show, and I want to show and offer support wherever she is needing us to show support. Thank you, Brother Maurice Muhammad, for making this possible and making the connection and reaching out and having the courage to do the things that are going to be necessary to keep this investigation in play. And Brother Information Man Show, I appreciate you using your platform to help facilitate all of what needs to happen.
Well, I'm trying to keep it together here, brother.
Yeah.
Brother Urema, I need your spirit right now, brother. I need you to say some words to the sister. This is a very powerful brother, Melissa, that is about to speak to you. This brother is an activist as well. This is a brother that fights against this sort of racism, this sort of hatred. It's a very powerful brother.
First of all, Queen Melissa, condolences to you and the family. We want to send you out power, protection. This is a time where our communities, when these type of incidents happen, and we know that they've happened throughout the history of this country, this is the time where you, sister, should have the utmost protection and should have the utmost love and power coming to you. So I want to send out our condolences and power to you. Information man, thank you for the platform that you've created, and thank you, brother Maurice Muhammad, for making the connection. The only thing I'm probably more to say as we get along, but I can only imagine whenever a Black man is unjustly, and in my case, whenever a Black man is justly murdered in cold blood, but in this case, unjustly. I feel it because this seems to be an epidemic that we have gone through for part of 500 years now, and so I can only imagine as and in this case, I can only empathize with you. I can only imagine what it can feel like to carry a son, bring them to life, watch them grow, nurture them. Watch them grow into manhood and be standing side by side with your child, and you know, putting up the fight that you have as an activist. And I know what it's like to be on the front lines and then to have this type of heinous, diabolical, nefarious act committed. You know, just from my perspective, all I see is blood. You know, and wanting that retaliation, so to speak. And so I commend you for your strength, Queen. And as we dialogue a little bit more through this, I will have a little bit more input. I was just recently in St. Louis and was really our organization. We were hoping to meet you to talk about this. So I'm glad that Brother Muhammad was able to make the connection. Again, Brother Muhammad, thank you. But the spirit of the ancestors are speaking. And at the end of the day, these acts cannot continue to go unchallenged. These acts cannot continue to just be swept aside as just another young Black man or Black woman or Black child murdered out in the street. There is these things just can't continue to go unchallenged. And so as we move along further, I'll have more input, but I would like to hear from you, Queen, and your thought. Thank you, Information Man.
Thank you. At this point, I definitely want to hear from the Queen. Melissa, can you express to us what's currently going on right now with your son's case? Have they what is going on down there right now where you live? What is happening in the situation, sister, since this has happened to your son?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank everyone for the support and for having me.
Yes.
At this moment, tomorrow will be 11 weeks since they came to our home and took my son, and we haven't heard anything. They told us that it would be 6 to 8 weeks, and we haven't heard anything. We're still in the same place we was as October 17th.
Now, sister, I remember hearing you state that they took but did not take the chair or do any forensic tests on the chair, and said that they were changing it from a suicide to an investigation. And I heard you say clearly that if it's an investigation, then why would you not take all evidence and do forensic science testing to identify? And I do remember hearing you say that the chair was not even close to where he was. The chair was far away. And I know personally from seeing guys where I work at that you can't do something like that to yourself and have a chair stand up without and have it that far from you without someone assisting in your demise. And I remember hearing you saying that you could feel that Danye was fighting for his life because he had his hands clenched when you found it. And the fact that the dispatcher would tell you take his body down, that goes all against all protocol, because I know someone who worked as a dispatcher, and I talked to her and she said that that's incorrect policy. Did they ever return anything back to you? Said nothing has happened within, I think you said they took the sheets and all these items, said they would return it within, what was it, 68 weeks or 9 weeks? Has any investigator come to you and has any follow-up questions for you, or has any forensic science medical lab shown you any evidence or anything?
No, they haven't come to ask me anything. They did not take his phone. They returned his clothes within a week, right? Within like a few days. Everything that he had on, including the shirt that had blood splatter on it,
yes,
it was returned. The only thing they kept was that sheet. And we have not received that back. They didn't do anything with the chair. Chair is out there. We can't expect an investigation on this.
yes.
It's not happening. What they're doing with the sheet right now, I have no idea. Maybe they're laying on it. Only thing we can do right now is wait for them to let that information go so that we can start our own.
Yes.
You know. But I see they're gonna drag their feet as long as possible so that can't happen. Do I think that we'll get the sheet back? No, not that sheet.
And let me, for the record, sister, the sheet that they are claiming that Danye used to take his life, and once again, for the record, he was hung. This was a retaliation for your activism, his activism. That sheet did not come from the household, right? So that sheet had no relationship to your household. Am I correct in saying that?
No, that was not our sheet. That sheet that they used. Whoever tied those knots up was good. And when I say good, was professional. Navy knots are not easy to do. My son didn't know how to do it.
Okay.
You know, so that sheet is the big problem for them. Those pictures was a big problem for them. They did not expect for my brother to be in the right frame of mind.
That's right. That's right.
To take pictures after they told him to take them down. So now, right now, it's time to cover up the tracks, you know, of the mess that they made.
Can you, oh my God, can you let everybody out there know, from what I've gathered, your son was 24 years old. He was living life, enjoying life. He had big plans for his career. He was He had a real estate company or business that he was running, and he wanted to help, as you said, he wanted to help his family. You said he respected women. He opened doors for his queens. He loved life, and he wanted to go over to Africa, where I plan to go myself, and he wanted to help people. So, and we know, let me just read something off to you, sister. I must read this off to you because this is why I know this is some BS that's going on. Let me just break this. Let me just break. But I have suicide statistics by race. 15.17% of white people engage in suicidal behavior. 13.37% of American Indians or Alaskan Natives engage in suicide behavior. Asians and Pacific Islanders at 6.62%. Black people are at the lowest percent at 6.3%. Black or African Americans. Girls, on the average, tend to attempt suicide behavior at 11.6%, while boys at 5.5% in terms of youth. Even in the prison system where I work at, most of the brothers that I deal with, they don't engage in this behavior the way other groups do, such as whites. So your son, by all account, does not fit the profile for this kind of behavior when he's got so much to live for, as you have spoken so well. Can you tell everybody who was your son? Who was he as a man, as a young man, as a son? Let's paint the picture, because we know they're going to paint a negative narrative of Black young men.
They can't. But even if Black people are 99% of those that commit suicide or by hanging, Danye wasn't part of that 99%.
Yes.
If I wasn't feeling, I would move on and breathe. I can't do that.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I can't even begin to do that. I'm in fight mode right now.
That's right.
Because that's what I have to do for Danye. Danye, like you said, he was good. He was very respectful. You know, I would watch him sometimes, and I'm like, watch how he would open the door for his woman, you know, cook for him, giving flowers when it was his birthday, you know,
Yes.
nothing but respect. And I'm not saying that because that's my son and my son is home. I'm standing in it. And they will tell you, the young lady will tell you, young sister always think that he was one of a kind.
Yes.
But he wasn't one of a kind. Like Danye, he came from a long line of respected brothers, you know. And when I would see him do that, I'm like, there's another one, you know. So when they took Danye, they took a special. They took a very special one that only wanted to fight for us, wanted to build for us,
Yes.
would do nothing but that. Do I think that he would do that in my backyard for me to find him? Hell no. When I walked out there that morning or that night, early morning, that was something that Danye would not want me to see. Not want me to see.
Mm-hmm.
The love that Danye has, and you notice I didn't say has, for me and family was special. Very special. As my son, we had a special bond, a special relationship,
Yes.
you know? And they knew that.
Look, sister, can I need to ask you this question. Up to the time prior to this murder, this situation, this lynching, as you stated, sister, and that's what it was. How frequent were you receiving threats? How frequent were they driving around your home? Did you get any phone calls? Did you see people following you when you were walking with your family in the community? Really, let us know what was really going on. I heard you talk about this with Phil, but can you expand upon this a little bit more as to what was going on in that area prior to this?
Well, let me say, after the Ferguson uprising, I had when I was going back and forth to court because there were some charges, some bogus charges that were put on my organization and myself, and everyone else, they had pleaded guilty, and that's what they expected, from all of us. But I'm not pleading guilty to something that I was innocent of. I was facing 17 years. So I fought it and won, of course.
Wow.
And in the video, we were in court, I walked up to my son and I hugged him, and he said, "Now you can really go." And I said, "Oh, I will." And in that video, that was Danye. After that, they started. I had went to lead and organize there was the Jason Stockley case.
Yes.
Where he had murdered Anthony Lamar Smith, and he was found not guilty. So I led those actions. So I started getting messages saying that we're going to stick that bullhorn down your nigger's throat. And I laughed it off, Then we started noticing them sitting outside our home. And sometimes we would even go out there and look at them, wave at them, like what? But after a while, my son and my husband started approaching the car. And when they would do so, those individuals would drive off, speeding. Why didn't we call the police? For what?
Yeah. You couldn't trust the police down there.
Why are we calling the police? You might get that small percentage of good cops, but most of the time we can't expect that when we dealt with ourselves.
I often wonder, sister, where are the so-called good cops when these sort of situations are happening? They always want to pull out their butt. Oh, not all cops are bad, but where the hell are the good cops? You often never hear from them. And we do know in this country that a lot of these police departments and military are being infiltrated by people that are members of these Ku Klux Klan groups and these hate groups. And the area that you live in is a hotbed for this type of activity. And I think that this was a retaliation against you because you were able to beat the system and not go to jail and do this time that they wanted to put on you. And the thing that I got to ask you this, sister. The thing that really gets me is that I heard you also mention that they were harassing your son. You have another son that was driving, and they started checking his car and harassing him and making statements about, so what's going on with the case, with your brother, did you find out what, and you said yourself, sister, if it was a suicide, why would police be driving around harassing your son and saying that you find out who took your brother's life? Now that to me is they're telling you straight up that we did it. They're putting it in your face. Damn it.
Not only did they ask him about who did that to Danye, my son was by himself that day.
Okay.
Remind you, okay? But they asked my son, who has custody of your son? He wasn't in the car. But they asked him, who has custody of your son? They come. My son was going in his trunk one night.
Okay.
And I stood in the garage watching, and his car was parked on the street. I noticed a car coming up the street, the light, and all of a sudden, the headlights shut off. So I looked around, but the car was still moving towards my son. So I called my son's name, and the car sped off the other direction. This was just a couple weeks ago. This is just a couple weeks ago.
Just a couple weeks ago, this took
in front of my home. My lights again were shut. My power was shut off. What, like 2-3 days ago? 3 days ago.
Your power was shut off.
My power was shut off, just like it had before Danye was killed. I know people ask me, get out, why don't we just leave? And at this point, the police, of course, the investigators weren't doing their job. If I leave my home, this house, right now, when we have to have the private investigation done, they're not going to have access.
That's right. That's right. Where is the progress or the process of the private investigation? Have you been able to get some private investigators? Where is that going right now since everything that has taken place so far, sister?
We have that's what the GoFundMe is for. We have to have not only a private investigation as far as the private autopsy done, and we have to get a legal team.
Okay. This is what I've done, sister. I put in the description of this video today your GoFundMe page. I'm asking everybody in the chat room, all of you in there, 127 of you right now, and counting up, hopefully, to support this sister. Go to her GoFundMe. I'm putting the link in the chat room, and you can also go to it on the description of the video and support the sister, support her family. They need our support. As Black people, we often talk about how we need to come together and unify and work together. Here's the situation. Now, Sister Melissa, I call it the alphabet media, the evil media. Have they shown any more? Have they put any more light on the situation that has happened to your son? Have they come to you for more interviews? Are they talking about it? What is going on in that area? Because we have to use our platforms as Black people here to get this word continually out.
Well, the media, from what I take, they might have individual interests, but I'm not expecting them to come to interview me or my family, because they're all in with these white supremacists. So why I'm not waiting on it. I'm doing whatever I can do. My family's doing whatever they can do. We're all doing what we can do to get his story out.
Yes.
We can't depend on them anymore. These are the that left my son out there hanging from a tree. So I'm not expecting them to do anything for us. We're on our own. We have no protection here. None. And do people know about what's going on? Yes. Have they done anything? No.
So, sister, I have to ask this: the Black community where you are, have you had people in the community there, galvanize around your family, come together around your family, go out there and ask for support, tell your story, rally for your family? Is anyone offering you protection for your family and your goings and your comings in your day?
No. No.
Oh my God.
Um,
Are there any other brothers on the panel? Would you like to ask any questions or say something? Because this is blowing me away.
Well, you know,
Oh, go ahead, brother.
no, you go ahead, bro. I'll go after you.
You know, this is, man, I'm all about the unity. I'm always
Okay, I think his screen. I think you. Okay, your screen was freezing, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. How is it now?
Okay, it's better now. Continue, brother. What you begin from the beginning. What you were going to say. I'm trying to take everything in.
I'm saying we always, I'm big for talking about unity, the unification, and I'm big on talking about particularly those that consider us in leadership positions. And I'm always calling people out, these guys, the people that have these platforms, but they're not trying to unite with other people that got similar platforms. I'm listening to this sister, the Queen Melissa, speak, and I'm wondering so when she's talking about, let's clarify, St. Louis, Missouri, this is what we're talking about, very racist state. We have to remember Missouri, period. This is where Dred Scott took place. Mm-hmm. So we have to clarify just the ramifications. So just what she's dealing with as a Black woman. So St. Louis, Missouri, people can actually drive on her block. White people, these crackers can actually drive on her in her community, threaten her son's life with the intimidation factor. And nobody was out there to run. I mean, this is literally what we're dealing, and this is what it's got to come to. Like literally, nobody was out there to punish them. They shouldn't have got off the block. Let us go into Chinatown, or let us go into Bensonhurst, Little Italy.
You'll never make it. They would never let you make it.
Well, actually, Yusef Hawkins didn't make it. He didn't make it out. So this is what we're dealing with. We got brothers out here and some sisters that will punish you and me for the slightest infraction. But this sister had to deal with her son being intimidated, had to deal with her family and the intimidation, and nobody is there. Brother, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable behavior. And I have to say, black men right now are looking like trash, man. They're looking like trash. And you know how I get down information, man. I keep it funky, man. Black men right now is looking like trash. Look, the bottom line, I say it. Them crackers shouldn't have got out of there without at least a beat down. At least a beat down. What is you doing on this block? What is you doing in our community? Period. And this is the other thing. We're always waiting. Here's another case, and I talk about this. I stood in front of on the police steps here in Columbus after Tyree King and Henry Green were killed up here. And I stood right out there for them wicked crackers so they can hear it. And I said, if we do not come together, you're going to be back here in another 6 months, because they're going to kill again. They're not going to stop killing. They're not going to do that. So what are you going to do? And here again, we're waiting on it's always the next investigation. It's always, we're waiting on the next tidbit of information to come out. We're waiting on private investigation, and those things are needed, but we know what happened. I don't need these crackers to tell me that well, we found out actually it was a homicide. No, we already knew that. F that. We know it's a homicide. We know that this young brother did not kill himself. We know that. We don't need you to tell us that. That information was already processed, because why? Your playbook hasn't changed. The problem is that our playbook hasn't changed either. Their playbook has always been murder, rape, kill, rob, pillage, and all those things, slander, lewdness, everything, theft, everything that harms. Our playbook hasn't changed. And until our playbook changes, we have a sister on this video today. Every black man in this country should be listening to her and asking, what? Nobody came to protect you, Queen? What? Your house is not surrounded with these young dudes out here talking that thug life stuff? Come on, man. We're not teaching. We're not teaching proper protocol. There is protocol and procedures for behavior. And we have to understand, whether we want to or not, that we are in a war. This is war. War has been waged. And we don't get that. And that's a problem, brother. That's a problem. What proper protocol for certain things.
What I'm trying to wrap my head around, Queen Melissa, you were an activist. I heard you say that you were very much instrumental in the movement in Ferguson and creating a situation in which you were able to shut down certain things. Any of the people, any of your peers, if you see them as your peers, that you were involved in these protests in Ferguson, are you saying to me that nobody that you were involved in organizing protests in Ferguson, none of these black folks down there came to your support as it related to your son when you sacrificed and gave up your time to bring up an issue that happened to Mike Brown? No one that was in your circle were willing and able to take a stand for your son? I want to make sure I'm hearing this right.
When it first happened, when everyone comes to your home and sits with you, they came and sat with me. There were a few sisters that came with protection. And every time that somebody would come, or if they thought that someone was coming to the house, the sisters pulled out their strap, and went to the door.
Where were the brothers?
Right.
Oh.
And let me say this.
Oh my God.
Let me say this. And I know some people say they don't want to hear this part, but I understand. What I do understand is that there are some people that have family, and I think that this has gotten too real for them, and they don't want this to happen to their son. But I didn't give up on my people for them to give up on me.
That's right.
I'm not giving up. Let me go on the record. I'm not giving up on my brother. I won't. I will not. But please don't give up on me. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Like, we're here. We need some help. We need some help. We do. They done took my baby out in that backyard where I live. They done came up on my property and took my baby out in that backyard. And hung him from my backyard tree. But he knew they was coming. He knew they was coming. He knew they was coming, but Again, the type of man that my son is a protector. He didn't want to tell me that. So he kept a brick by his bed where he slept, just in case.
So the brick was your son's trying to protect himself because he knew that they were coming to do some harm to the family,
Right.
him in particular. This is the thing that I can't wrap my head around, sister. The fact that you, like I said, you gave of your time, of your love for your people, and no one has come to give you the same support in return. That's what I can't wrap my head around. Now, the other activists that were murdered, killed, all sorts of crazy stuff going on. Did you have a relationship with Jason, with any of these brothers, Darren Seals, Crawford? Did you have any relationship with the other activists that mysteriously were murdered?
Yes. Darren and I are very close. Very close. We were very close. Yeah. I actually went to the headquarters to demand some answers when he was assassinated. But again, the families, they're going through their own situation. And I honestly, I understand. But I just can't go through it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't lay down and take what they did to my baby.
Yeah.
I just can't. It's not in me.
That's right. I'm trying to gather my emotions right now, since to stay strong for you. When I listened to you in the interview that you did with Phil, there was this question about, because I work in mental health, going to get a mental health counseling. But sometimes that's not always the first thing that we should run to, because the most important thing that I heard you say is that, no, I'm going to use my pain, I'm going to use how I feel to keep me motivated to fight for my son. Sometimes how you're feeling right now could be the best motivator to keep you forging forward. Getting counseling is appropriate, because we can't keep this inside. But you coming on here and interviewing with us here and talking and getting on other platforms, which we want to see you on other people's platforms throughout Black YouTube, to continue telling us what's going on, reporting to us, and keeping your son's memory and spirit up high. I think in some ways, letting the system play their psychology on you is not what's necessary. You need to keep what's burning inside of you to keep your son's memory alive. You need support. We need to come together around you.
You know, I'm going to say this. I'm hearing a little echo.
Information, man. It's you know, I gotta reiterate again, brother. It's ridiculous that this sister has no protection. That's the first call to duty. The sister needs money. We need to support this sister's GoFundMe. But this sister's son was lynched, man. This sister's house should be packed with protection, and it shouldn't be. She said the sisters were the ones. Do you know how insane that is? This is insanity this is the highest level of insanity. We need to get protection around this queen right here, right now. Like no white boys or whoever should be coming to her community trying any intimidation, period. Because they should see people come around that house like, uh-oh, we better get our asses up out of here because it's about to be on and popping.
I would like to I know Brother Maurice was moving. One of the titles that he gave this campaign was call to action, and I think there are some steps being made. One is the GoFundMe. I've just donated, and I hope that everybody will consider doing that if they can afford it. But there's also moves that need to be made with respect to the state that I would like Brother Maurice to move to. Obviously, this is going to be a very emotional roller coaster ride with respect to all of this. But she has a lot to grieve about, and the lack of what the community is doing to support her is that is obviously taking care of itself in terms of grief. Brother Maurice, can you move in with some action items?
Yes, sir. Thank you, beloved.
Yes, sir.
This is something that we have to make sure that we all understand very succinctly, very clearly, is that this is an all hands on deck. This situation, none of us is outside the realms of having this same tragedy touch us in our own personal lives. So we got to get on board, because as we said, justice for Danye equals life for us. And there's things that have to be done. So we are asking that you volunteer your time. If you're in St. Louis, in that area, reach out to us so that you can be a part of the security control. If you're outside, there's other things that we need you to be able to do. This is not a time for you to sit down and think that everything is okay. We are 11 weeks out from his murder, and yet we still don't have the coroner report. And they said, if I'm correct, that would be done in 6 to 8 weeks or 6 to 9 weeks. We're at 11 weeks. We still don't have it. That's a problem. And it's a problem because we all got to do our part in it. Now, I'll give you just a quick example of what can be done when we're all working in unison. If we got 1,000 people to pick up the phone and just make a simple call down to the coroner's office and make sure that they understand, well, where is this report that should have been done? That should have been done. So we tell them that ain't nothing else. You ain't doing nothing until this report gets done.
That's right.
See, we gotta go on the attack. That's why justice is not a diplomatic language. So we don't come to them and say, well, let's compromise and let's get this and no. We gotta deal with it in a different way. We got to deal with it in a different way so that we can go ahead and make this thing happen. Because other than that, we're being foolish and we're wasting time. And as more time as we waste, people are continuing to die. As I said earlier, after Danye was killed, there were 23 others. Black people that were killed for no reason, besides that they were Black. This is a problem that we have the power to deal with. The question is, are you ready to go where we need to go so that we can deal with it, so that we can bring it to an end? Because if we don't do this, more and more and more are going to die. And sooner or later, it will reach you. It will reach you in your own home. And then you'll understand what our sister is feeling. Because now you're feeling it. But you had the opportunity to do something before it got to your house. But you didn't want to do anything. So that's why we got to be proactive now. and get in the fight right now so that we can do the things that need to be done. This is a war. In war, you have different stages and different things that need to be done that I can't say here. But, you know, my number, 615-484-0344. 615-484-0344. Reach out to me. Tell me you want to help, and we will put you in the right places and give you the proper instruction on what needs to be done. This is war, and we're not playing. There's no reason. It's just like the other day we pointed out in our decision to take over a city in Mississippi, and that we're recruiting for our military. We got more sisters signing up than we do brothers. This is a problem. And this is just shown again. Sister Melissa said there was women, there was sisters showing up, ready to go, and no brothers. This is a problem. So this being comfortable, it has to stop. It has to stop. Now, I know that there has been promises made for security, and yet evidently has not showed up. And we have to deal with that, because when I checked into it and I was given personal assurances that it would happen, and today it still hasn't happened. But we cannot get in the habit of waiting on one organization to jump up and do what they should do. We got to take it upon ourselves to put ourselves in those places and make it happen. Simple as that. We got to put ourselves in those places to make it happen. We are on the clock. We can't look back and say what the civil rights movement and all these other people failure to do. We're on the clock now. They're not here. We're here. So what is it that we're willing to give? What is it? The sister said she was facing 17 years because she was fighting for freedom. She was fighting for rights. She was fighting for justice. She was fighting on the side of God. And so the devil wanted to give her 17 years. And she didn't punk out. She didn't back down. She stood firm and fought. Now we owe a duty to her. We owe a duty to her family because they sacrificed for us. And look what she got at the end of the sacrifice. Now we got to step up. We got to step up and do what's right, because now she's on Calvary. She's down at Calvary. Now we're going to let her be on the cross, goddammit, or we're going to take her down from the cross. Are we going to go out and say, here am I. I'm with you. Let's go in the battle. This is where we are. Men, you got decisions to make. You got decisions to make. So make the right choice.
I believe that the decision is very simple. Everybody in the chat room, all 152 people that are in the chat, that are listening, people that is in the chat room, go over to her GoFundMe and support her. Call Brother Maurice Muhammad's number. Find out what you can do to get involved if you're close to the area. Whatever you want to do. That's what we should be doing. We spend a lot of time on YouTube, on platforms and panels, talking about what we want to do and what black folks should be doing, and talking about how we want to build. And here we have a situation with this sister where we can do something. I'm damn sure going to put some money on her GoFundMe today.
That's right.
I'm going to put some money on it. And I think everybody needs to do something, because we spend a lot of time on YouTube chatting and arguing about and bickering about this and that. Put your money where your mouth is. Support the sister.
That's right. I believe her brother wants to speak. Assalamu alaikum. Come on in, bro.
Walaikum salam. Right now I'm listening, brother.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, we all saw the movie, or I'm assuming that most of us saw the movie A Time to Kill. And that movie was based in Mississippi. And the Samuel L. Jackson's daughter was raped by these white boys. And when she was found, she told her father, she said, "Daddy, I was calling for you. I was calling for you." Now, as her daddy, he wasn't there, but what did he do? He went and he shot up. I think he killed those crackers at the courthouse. And then the lawyer, and he had an all-white jury, but the white lawyer had to convince the jury. And so he said, "You close your eyes, and now you see your daughter in that position." So that's how he got them to change and vote not guilty so the brother can get off. You got to put yourself in Sister Melissa's situation. And what if it was your son that was murdered, and now you need the community to stand for you? What if it was your son? What if it was your son? What if it was your daughter, your family member? What if it was you who they put hung from a tree and said you did it to yourself? Don't you see that you got a plan, that you are a piece of this puzzle? Because we can't go begging. We have to go taking. By all means, taking, dictating, telling them this is what will happen. And if it don't happen, we make it happen. This is our time, family, to step it up and do what needs to be done. Because other than that, we're fooling ourselves and we're waiting around for the next body to drop. And there will be a next body. There will be a next body. The coroner's number I just dropped into the chat, into our view. We can throw that into the chat box. And we all should be calling them.
Yes.
Calling them. There should be thousands of calls made into that number demanding that this situation get handled and handled now. We need to light a fire up under their asses and don't care about the repercussions. This is what we got to do. We always talk about speak truth to power. Well, I'm telling you, you are the power, not them. Because you send them. You are the power. Now it's time to use this power to effect our change, to make our way. Wake up and understand the time and what must be done. Go ahead, big brother. I yield my mic.
Brother Gab, you want to add anything, brother? I'm just trying to gather myself. I pulled up Sister Melissa's the GoFundMe. I'm going to put money in the GoFundMe, and I'm busy putting the number in there, like everyone, for folks in the chat room to call that number, like Brother Maurice Muhammad said. Flood them with phone calls. Flood them with demands. Flood them, flood them, flood them. And everyone in here, go to the GoFundMe page and support this family. Support this sister, support. We do too much talking about stuff. Here's an opportunity to get involved in something that can benefit a situation. Go ahead and do that. Brother Gab, you have anything you want to add? Hey, brother?
Yeah. Yes, sir. It's just more encouragement to take the action that you're able to take. A couple prongs have been put out there for people to take certain kinds of action. One kind of requires for you to be in the vicinity. There are two that you don't have to be in the vicinity. It just takes you to be dedicated enough to move forward. And those are calling the coroner's office to kind of pressure to the point where where sister can get answers for what happened to her beloved son and our beloved brother in terms of our community. And then calling Brother Maurice to help to organize the security. If sister wants to stay on and say more words, it's one thing. But in terms of, I think if there's more information to be brought out, yes, definitely, I think we should hear more. But in terms of me saying anything other than ways that we can show support, I rest.
Sister Queen Melissa, I'm sorry. I know this is very emotional for you to talk about these issues, but it's very important for everybody out there to hear your voice. Is there anything that we need to know that the public is not aware of, that you know, that your family is aware of, that we need to know to further galvanize people to put their arms around and support your family, the situation that you're in? Is there anything that we need to know, sister? Please.
Yes. It was an important part that I remember, and during the time that they were out there with my son's body, they kept 2 officers in my home to prevent me from looking out of the window, the back window where he was. When I would try, they would grab me to keep me from looking to see what they were doing to him, you know. Even though I knew he was no longer uh, yeah, with us, I just wanted to see, you know, 'cause I'm his mother. And they wouldn't allow me to do it. Instead, they sat in the front yard. The ones that were in the front yard that I saw were laughing the whole time until I finally said something. And my neighbor said that when they looked in the back, that they saw them laughing in the backyard also. What was funny, I don't know, but it was all wrong, you know.
Yes.
They've also they gave us, well, that detective, the laughing detective, gave us his business card,
Yes.
and he's with the St. Louis County Police. The card said St. Louis International Airport Police.
Now this is
So he gave us somebody else's card. He didn't give us his card.
I was wondering, why would a airport police officer be investigating a situation that seems to be out of jurisdiction? Something is not kosher about that.
They wouldn't. It's so many questions. But my main question is, who did it? And the one that lured him out that night, why? Because it had to be somebody that he trusted to get him out there in that backyard, to get him out the house, period.
Okay, sister, I'm going to ask you, this may be an explosive question. Were you pretty much familiar with some of his friends? You don't have to name any names if you don't feel comfortable doing that right now, but do you have in your mind an idea who you think could have been involved in setting your son up like this?
I rather not say right now.
I understand that. I understand that.
This definitely be a to be continued, and for for obvious reasons, because we're still going in process right now.
Yes, sir.
However, we're not in the dark um, on a lot of things. There's a lot of things that we realize, but Brother Maurice, if you can come by here, and then we can share with you a little bit more information on how we got so far in this case thus far. Um, yeah, I'll leave it like that for the
Okay.
channel that we work with right now.
That's fair. That's fair. Thank you.
You know, I want to say this real quick. You know, the military, when they went to war against, when America went to war against Iraq, they used the term shock and awe. And they went out and did their thing. And again, earlier, I said that, you know, this is something that we have to do ourselves. So we got to get out of the habit of running to people that are not, look at the ADL are not our friends. The Southern Poverty Law Center, they're not our friends.
That's right. That's right.
Black man and woman, you pick up the phone and you call a coroner's office. Stop calling these other people. You're wasting time. You're wasting energy in your effort. We have to do this, not them. We are the supermans and superwomen. It's just, if you keep reaching out to them, to expecting them to work on our behalf, you might as well keep telling the lie that Santa Claus lives.
Yes, sir. Brother Maurice.
Yes.
When we call the coroner's office, just for verbiage sake, what's the way to get to the point? What are the words that people need to say to them?
I would think it'd be very succinctly. Danye Jones, his report was due 6 weeks ago. It's 11 weeks now. We need it done. We need that report.
Okay. So everybody in the chat room, everybody that's listening and that will hear this video on repeat, you need to call the coroner's number and say, Danye Jones's report was due 6 weeks ago, and we need to know immediately what is going on. We need to know.
No, it's not 6 weeks ago. They told us from the day, they told us that it'll be 6 to 8 weeks after the lynching.
Okay.
6 to 8 weeks from the time of the lynching. However, it's going on 11 weeks.
Tomorrow will be 11.
Tomorrow will be 11 weeks.
So we need everybody to call that number and demand the status of that report. Thank you, Brother Gab. I don't think that that's too much for folks to do. I'm certainly going to call the number. Everybody in this chat room, everybody listening, pick up your phone and call that number and flood them with those questions and demand to know. Demand that the family needs to know, and let them know that you are behind the family and that you support the family and you know what's going on. Yes.
Exactly. Because if they only think that they just have to deal with the family and that the family is by themselves isolated, then they'll continue to block them off and keep them at bay. They have to know that, no, we're here and we're supporting, and we will do everything that needs to be done because we will take justice. All we have to do is step up. We step up, they'll step down. It's just that simple. Let's step it up.
Hey, brother, I'd like to interject here too. Brother Maurice Muhammad, you made a very valid point. And I've been saying it for a couple of years now, like we are our own best solution. Like there's nobody else has the best solution for us. We are our own best solution. And when we figure that out, we will stop relying on everybody, running to everybody else to try to figure out problems that we should be figuring out and solving ourselves. Secondly, we need to keep in mind, and I, Danye Jones again, condolences to the family. But for everyone in the chat, we need to keep in mind that this isn't the only lynching that has taken place. Brothers are being lynched around the country. So although you might not be in the St. Louis area where you can maybe provide some security aid and assist, there right in your community, I can guarantee you all communities around this country, all communities, they don't miss. One thing about these Europeans, they don't miss. There's somebody in your community that needs aid and assist. The other thing is this. We need to keep in mind signs and symbols for the conscious mind. So listen close. Keep this in mind. When we look at European standards and when we look at code of conduct, how they move, they have their intellectuals, they're people that talk, they're people that give the information, they're scholars. They have their bankers, they're people that deal with the money, the finances. They have their leaders of their organizations and institutions, and then they fortify it with their military, the people that go out and murder, kill, rape, pillage, all of that. And that military consists of your militia, it consists of your army, your air force, your Marines, your Navy, and it also consists of your National Guard, all of that. Signs and symbols for the conscious minds, man. Just keep that in mind. Their communities are fortified. We're not fortifying ours. The people and the brothers and sisters in St. Louis should be offering aid and assist. And it shouldn't even be a question. It shouldn't even be a second consideration. It should be automatic.
Exactly.
So,
you know, brother, you are very true. This should be automatic. Not no ifs, ands, and buts about it. It should be automatic. And what our people have to understand is that the enemy uses death as a fear tactic. They use death as a fear tactic. But damn it, we all gonna die. We all are going to die anyway. So it is better that if we're going to die, it is better that we fight. We don't just lay down and let them take our life. We don't do that. We fight. These bastards bleed just like we bleed. Just like we bleed. The bully will only bully you because you allow it. It's just that simple. We have to stand up. We have to. Because we are the ones that will put an end to all of this. We will put an end to all of it. But you got to take a stand. Just like our sister, she took a stand. We got to back her in her stand. That becomes our stand. And we will get our freedom. You understand? This is freedom. This is freedom. Let's not confuse the time. We are repeating time again. Because when it was done years ago, we didn't respond correctly. We responded with turning the other cheek. Now look at where that got us. Now let's respond properly and be for each other as we should be. Protection, love, duty. Because we are each other. We are each other. Point blank. Point blank.
Exactly. I'm gonna say once again, and I'm calling out to everybody in the chat room, everybody that's listening out here, everyone that will hit us on a repeat. Go to the GoFundMe page and donate. Support the family. It's in the description of this video. If you need to get in contact with Brother Maurice Muhammad, his number was placed in there. I will more than likely place it in the description, or it's placed in the chat room. You can look at this on a repeat, and you can look at the chat room, and you can cut and paste in whatever information you need. But at the end of the day, we need to show this sister support.
That's right.
Anytime you've got women, as Brother Uramus stated, women holding the pieces in their hand to protect this sister and her family, and we don't have men involved, but yet we want to get on YouTube and talk about what it is to be a man and manhood and all this kind of talk. And this sister gave of her time and her sacrifice to protect and stand up for what happened to Michael Brown and Ferguson, and was active out there supporting other families in their time. Sister, when I listened to you speak, you said that was one of the reasons why you got involved in activism, because you saw what was happening to other people's family members, how police were shooting Black men, how police were treating Black women and Black men. And that was something that inspired you because you saw their pain and what they were going through. And that inspired you to get involved yourself. And yet, people are not supporting you in your own damn community. This is outrageous.
May I say something?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You say whatever you like.
This is a time for, if you have some type of platform, or you have some type of organization, a group, a gang, it doesn't matter. This is a time for us to come together. Whatever the issue is, it's time to get it together and unite now. Not tomorrow, but yesterday. There's nothing too big for us that we can't make it right. That's what they fear the most, is us united. If we don't get that, it's going to be another Danye, and another Danye, another Mike Brown, another Anthony Lamar Smith, another Kerry Ball. It's going to be more and more. It's not going to stop because they know we don't have our shit together.
Exactly.
This is ridiculous. This is sad that we have to beg for each other to come to one another. This is sad. This is our lives. And we still can't get it together.
I think this little phase. I see some practical things that for the coroner and things of that nature. But this effect you see like with this brother and sister dynamic. And I know a lot of us may already know this already, but this didn't come out of a vacuum. For the feminization of our men, the checkmate of our king, the exaltation, masculizing of our women, didn't come out of a vacuum. And Sun Tzu in the Art of War, he said, if you strong, pretend like you're weak. And if you're weak, regroup until you become strong. And then go to war. And right now, that element, for that the example that my sister just mentioned about the sisters, or the role reversal, that dynamic, that's pervasive. That's why we'll see many more until we do regroup to become strong. Because we have this element. I see this element in the mosque. I see this element in the church. Politics. We have a lot of we got a dynamic with these. We got these hirelings or these whores.
That's right.
And we have good shepherds. And at one point, it's hard to tell the difference between the two, because both of them have a position of being guardians over the sheep until the wolf comes. And then when the wolf comes, then you can distinguish between the two. And if you go to war, you don't know the difference between the two. Yeah, I don't know if you ever been in a fight and had some people that you was fighting with bail out on you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had
I don't know
that.
if you'll get in a fight when the ones you fighting with was the ones who started it with their mouth.
Exactly.
I've had
And
that.
then you fighting, and all of a sudden there's 3 dudes around you, 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and you swinging and swinging, and the one that you was supposed to be fighting with ran.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
We had that element inside all these different. So those are all elements that we have to deal with, and some of the stuff is not wise in this channel because of not knowing those elements.
This is what I want to do, because I want to be respectful of Sister Melissa's time. I know this has been very emotional. It's been very emotional for all of us. So I want to be respectful of her time. I do have Brother Prophet of Thought series on, who I would like to have say a few words to the sister before she has to go, because I want to be respectful of the family and their time. Brother Prophet of Thought series, would you say a few words to the sister? Because she needs big time support. We're asking everybody to support their GoFundMe. Brother Maurice Muhammad put numbers in the chat room, how you can get in contact with him if you want to get involved with what's happening down there. She's not getting the support that she needs and should have in the area that she lives in St. Louis there.
Okay, first, excuse me. I'd like to say peace, Brother Info Man, and everybody on the panel, Brother Mohammed, Gab Talk, everybody. I also want to say peace to Lady Melissa. It's unfortunate that we have to interact at such a trying time, but those of you who know my platform, you know this unfortunately is in our wheelhouse. We have covered many of these cases, and I expressed this to Brother Muhammad and Brother Information Man the other day, that, you know, my platform is open to you. Whenever you want to come on, whenever you want to talk, even if I got to put something to the side. Actually, tomorrow night, Brother Muhammad will be on my platform tomorrow night. So feel free to come on there, say whatever you have to say. And you have my condolences. Unfortunately, this is just another case of many that we have covered. I would like to ask you this though. Have you and the family, have you had any press conferences at City Hall or in front of the coroner's office, or have you had any of those yet?
Yes, sir. In front of the City Hall, that was the Justice Center. We had a press conference, but they chopped it up. The whole conference. It was horrible. They chopped it up, and by the time they were done with the interview, we don't even know really what was said.
Ridiculous. It was crazy.
So that's why we need our own media.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you this. Have you heard from any of the so-called quote unquote, and I use this disparagingly, have you heard from any of the black leadership at all, whether it be locally or anywhere throughout the country? Have you heard from anyone?
Yes. There were a few. They're doing what they said that they would do. But right now, a lot of them are saying that their hands are tied because they're holding on to all of the information, and I think that's what they're doing. They're doing it because of that reason. You know, they're holding on to the reports. They're trying to drag their feet because they know once they let that go, they're stuck with whatever they put out because they've already messed up. They've already messed up. So right now, it's cleanup time for them, but it's not going too well. So they're just gonna hold on to it.
Forget about it.
They want us to forget about it. They want the people to forget about it. So that's why we have to keep this moving. We have to keep going because, again, the next family will be in this
Well,
position I'm in.
well, how is it? I know the brothers were speaking about your protection. How is it for you right now, you know, at your home? How is it now?
Ooh. For one, we try not to go too far, for too long. We get home. There's been a few times where I couldn't get in my garage with my garage door opener, just like when before they came and took Danye. I can't get in my garage. My power's off, so I would have to get out of my car and go in and manually open up the garage door. But, just the craziest things going on around here. But it's the same things that, you know, we've encountered before they came and took my son. So I've reached out to some brothers of organizations, and they said that they were sending protection. That was 4 days ago. So we just been sitting in the house waiting, you know.
Well, this is what I don't understand. I don't know why no one in that immediate area isn't at the very least, you know, sharing shifts and standing guard over you at this time. Let me ask you something else. Were you receiving prior to this? Were you receiving threats? Was Brother Danye receiving threats before all of this?
Okay, I was receiving threats, of course. It got worse than that. They came and started sitting outside of our home. Danye, there were a few times that he asked me. He said, "Mom, do you carry protection?" I said, "I'm good." He said, "I'm telling you, you need to start protecting yourself." And then after a while, like right before it happened, he kept telling me, to be careful, and he didn't want me to go out. And I called him paranoid.
Do you feel like you should be getting out of there? Should we be trying to get you out of there?
No,
No?
no. I gotta keep this house we need to have access to this house for the private investigation. If we leave this house, I'm pretty sure they won't have access. They'll make sure that someone's in here that won't give them access, or they'll make sure that this house is no longer here.
So they're in a situation, Brother X, where they want to hold ground there because, like the sister says, they could go in there and do all sort of things to that house to mess up the evidence, to change things around, to cause there to be no access when they get private investigators, because the family's in a process where they need private investigators, they need a private coroner's examination, which is why we're asking everybody to support their GoFundMe. Call and see what, and we put in the chat room the coroner's office, because they were supposed to get a report on the findings with their son a long time ago, and they seem to be stalling them. And so we need to call that number and put pressure on them. Exactly, brother.
There's a reason for that.
Okay.
They're stalling because, see, one thing that I've often noticed, and you know, Brother Info Man, I cover a lot of these cases. And what usually happens is, see, everyone has to get their stories together. Okay, the
Yeah.
police, the district attorney, the coroner, and everybody else has to get their stories together. So of course they try to hold on to these things until that time, unfortunately. And usually what they do is they put a smoke screen up and they tell you that it's not done, and usually it's done a month before they say it's going to be done, most of the time. I mean, that's just how it is. Now they can tell you anything. They can say, oh, it's not ready. It's probably been ready.
Right.
But see, everybody doesn't have their stories together yet. That's
Right.
what's not ready. The stories. Because see, they all need to be right in sync with each other so they can repeat the same talking point as the case and the story moves along. That's how they operate.
Yes.
That's how they operate.
That's true.
And I would advise a Lady Melissa to not believe anyone,
Oh no,
any of them, to believe any of them about
doesn't.
anything. And once again, I mean, you and your family, you have my condolences. My name is Xavier. I run TPOT Media, and I'll say again, our media platform is open to you whenever you want to come on. I say again, Brother Muhammad will be on my platform. Shout out to Brother Muhammad. He'll be on my platform tomorrow night. So feel free to come on if if you're feeling up to it. If not, you can get my information from Brother Info Man and come whenever you want. Okay. Whatever you need from us, you got it. All right. If I knew people out there in that area, I'd have them at your house already. They'd already be at your house. So I don't know what's going on with the brothers. And my call to the brothers out there in that area, you need to get up off your asses and get out there and protect this woman. Y'all need to get over there and do that. Like yesterday, last week, this needs to happen because people want to do her harm, and she hasn't done anything to bring that on. And I know her son didn't do anything to cause what happened to him. So maybe, just maybe one time, and I know I've said this before, this one time, Black folks, we need to be monolithic in our thought for this cause and galvanize around it and give Lady Melissa whatever she needs, whether it be time, money, protection, our bodies, our minds, whatever we need to do. We need to get on around there and circle around Lady Melissa right now, because she needs us. She don't need them, she needs us. She needs us.
Brother X, I want to thank you for coming on, because that was one of the reasons why I sent you the link to come on, because I do know you have experiences in situations like this. You've talked to many parents, family members that have been in the same situation like this. So that's one of the reasons why I had to get you on, so that you could speak to the sister, because I knew you would speak the truth to power. And Sister Melissa, I know that your time is short. I don't want to take up your time. It's been a very emotional, but like I want to say to you that I give you my condolence. We know that the evil hand of racism is part of this. We know that the usual suspects are part of what happened to your son. This is another way, and this is another thing. And I have to say this, and this has been true and tried and true even through slavery. They always do something, and you said this, they always do something to one of us to make an example to the rest of us, that if you do this, if you're active, if you speak out, this is what you're going to get. The same way they did to Black folks in slavery when they would put that crackers whip on the back to give. So your son, they did what they did to your son to scare other people in the community, to say, don't you dare stand up. And like you said, you believe that some people haven't come to your aid because, and I don't want to quote you, misquote, because they are concerned about what can happen to their family. And this is exactly how they operate. This is exactly how these white folks operate, trying to scare us, trying to use us, one of us, as an example of what we better not do. So, sister, I want to thank, first of all, Brother Maurice Muhammad, for bringing the sister aboard. Brother Gab Talk Media that was here. I want to thank Brother Kurama. He had to leave. His phone battery ran out, but he says thank you for here to talk to the sister. And Brother X, I'm glad to have you here speaking your experience in these matters, brother. And most importantly, everybody out there needs to go over to the GoFundMe, put some money in there, support the sister, call the coroner's office and give them hell. I repeat, call the coroner's office and give them hell constantly. Everybody, please do that. Sister Melissa, I want to give you have any last words that you want to say to the people out there before we go? Because I know your time is precious with your family.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
I just need to repeat what I said earlier, and that it's time for us to get it together. Immediately, it's time for us to get it together. The division, it has to stop. And I just wanted to thank everyone for your support. I want to thank you for your energy. And even if you can't do anything at all, I just want to send you nothing but good energy. That's it.
I'm gonna say this right now. We need to continue. I want to continue following up on what's happening with the situation, sister. So I'm going to be in contact with Brother Maurice Muhammad. I want to keep tabs on what's going on. I think everybody needs to keep tabs. I'm going to send money in your GoFundMe. I am going to utilize the phone number and raise hell to the coroner's office as well, as much as possible. And I'm going to be talking about this throughout Black YouTube. I'm going to use my platform, as you said. And I'm going to say that I don't care how many times people get sick of me talking about this. I'm going to talk about it over and over and over and over and over again. And what I want to do with the help of Brother Maurice Muhammad, we want to get you on Brother X's channel. We want to get you on as many people's channel on these platforms so that you can continue hitting the drum beat for your family, for your son, and for the Black community, because we are a community and we need to rally around you. God knows we talk enough crap on these platforms about what we're going to do, what Black folks need to do, and here's an opportunity for us to put our money and our efforts where our damn mouth is. So thank you, sister, for being here with me and giving me a chance to be able to talk to you. It was very hard for me to interview you, sister. I had to be honest. I was a little, because I'm emotional as well, and I'm trying to stay strong. So I was having some problems because I was feeling your emotions, and I was becoming a little, because I have a daughter, 11-year-old daughter, and God forbid if anything would happen to my child as well. So I can feel you. It was very difficult for me, but it was necessary. So thank you for being here with us tonight, evening, wherever you are in the world.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, and we'll keep applying pressure because pressure breaks pipes.
Right.
Pressure breaks pipes. We'll
Yes.
keep applying pressure.
Realize who the real enemy is.
That's right.
You realize who the real enemy is.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. Well, everyone has heard from our queen. And she, as I said earlier, she's a fighter. She's a fighter. And we will fight with her. We will fight for her. You know, when the enemy wants to play with their power to do intimidation, you know, generators, we need everything so that we can show that we're not punking out, that we're not cowering down. We're ready for the battle. This is for the freedom of our people. This is where we are at time. And so everybody has decisions to make. There is no sideline. There is no sideline. And trust and believe. If you believe the enemy will not come for you because you were quiet and you didn't do nothing and you was trying to be somebody that the enemy would like, you're done. Because the enemy don't respect that. They'll come get you too. They'll come get you. So do the right thing. Fight on our side for what's right, for what's right. Justice. Justice for Danye is life for us. If we punk out, then you might as well go on back to slavery because you ain't worth a damn if you punk out. You ain't worth a damn. I thank you, Sister Melissa, Queen Melissa. We love you. We love you. My wife sends her love to you. And trust and believe, we are there. We are there, and we getting it together. You will be all right. You will be all right.
Yes.
I rest my mind.
And we are not finished. We're not finished with this. We're gonna stay on this. We're not gonna stop. Like I said, I mean, feel free to hit me up anytime. Whenever you want to get your message out or you just want to talk, feel free to hit us up, because this is what we do here. So we're at your disposal. All you gotta do is call us. We here. Okay.
Thank you.
What I'm gonna do right now, wow. I'm gonna still do a Q&A. Brother X, can you explain that? Let everybody know your background in terms of the different situations you've been in with family members that you have talked to. Just to give people a little bit of information on that, brother.
What people probably don't know about TPOT, the Prophet of Thought Series Media Group, is this is how we started. We started by covering these cases, police brutality cases, mysterious deaths of youth cases. I mean, I've covered Ramarley Graham. I've covered the Mike Brown case. I've covered cases in the Queen City, Jonathan Farrell, Janisha Fonville. I mean, I've covered many cases. India Kager. This is how we started. This is what our media program was started on, covering these types of cases. I've had the mothers on my show. I've had Montira Robinson was on my show. Her son Jamarion Robinson, he was shot 59 times in Georgia. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. I mean, if you go through my archives, you'll see the many people that I've had on my show talking about the injustices to their children. So when I say this stuff is unfortunately in our wheelhouse, I mean it. I mean, it's in our wheelhouse. This is what started TPOT. I mean, we've done other things, you know, subsequent to that, but this is what got us started. We started with Kamani Gray. We started with Kamani Gray out in Brooklyn, New York, killed by NYPD. And I mean, ever since then, I mean, these are the type of things we've covered over the course of the whole existence of TPOT. So unfortunately, I say again, I've spoken to many mothers, man, many. I mean, too many to count. And it's troubling, man, because you know, deep down inside, man, you know it's going to be more. I always want it to be the last one. I always hope this is the last one, but it never seems like it is. It's not. I hope that Lady Melissa is the last one to go through this, but deep down inside, we know that's not true. So the only thing we could possibly do is make a conscious effort to try to make this the last one. We have to do that, man. We have to stand up. We have to not only support her, but support everyone else who has been through this. We have to support the young folks out there, even if it means educating them on who the enemy is as well. I mean, we have to figure out a way to keep our people safe from folks who wish them harm. You know, I mean, you find yourself at your wits' end with this stuff. I know I do, because I've had so many mothers on my platform that have been through this. I shouldn't have these many stories. TPOT shouldn't have these many stories, man, but we do. So what I would suggest everybody, I'll say again, what we should have now is people to support her, because they're obviously under threat there. And brothers in that area need to be there. They need to be there to look out for these folks, protect these folks, because they've already proven that they're willing to come right up in there and do harm. They've already proven it. They've proven it. So what more do we need to see to realize that some protection need to be taking place on that property? What more do we need to see? We've seen it. We've seen the proof.
That's right.
We've seen it. So we need to get our asses out there. We need to get our asses out there and stand guard to make sure that they don't bring their white asses back on that property and do something to someone else there. We need to get there, man. I wish I was there.
Yes.
I wish I knew people who were there, because I'd have them there. If I had people in that area, they'd be there, man. They'd be there.
Yeah.
Told you, I'm looking at my schedule now, trying to figure out a way where I could get out there maybe a day or two. I'm looking at my schedule right now. Okay. I could round up some goons and be there for a couple of days. All right. Because this type of shit is important, man. I mean, like you said earlier, brother Info Man, we always talk about a bunch of BS, and we can seem to just circle the wagons around a bunch of nonsense. So why we can't circle the wagons around brother Danye and lady Melissa? Why we can't circle the wagons around them right now? Why not? Why not? Why is it only 150 people in this damn room? It should be 15,000. It should be 150,000 hearing this.
Because Brother X, just as I was telling Maurice Muhammad a few days ago, as we were coming out of that merry mess day that everyone celebrates, there's phony balonies and there's pretenders, there's phony balonies, and then there's the real. The people who are really on here for their people, they're going to support. They're going to rally around this stream. They're going to share this stream. They're going to put money in their GoFundMe. They're going to call those numbers at the coroner's office. Those are the real people. And the people that are on YouTube that are really not here for the betterment of their people, but just themselves personally, they're not going to support. We know who they are. It displays itself. Okay. I see who came into this chat room during this stream. I saw who showed up. Now I know that people are with their family. And there's some people that are probably watching that are not in the chat room. And there are people that are going to watch on the repeat. I give them much love for that. But that's why I'm repeating, as they watch this on a repeat. And as this goes through social media, it means not a damn thing if no one gives the family something. Whatever you got, $5, $10, $25, $100, whatever you got, give it. God damn it, I could go. I'm about to go out in a few minutes and have a meal with my lady, and I'm gonna probably end up spending some kind of money, just on some basic meal. So if I can spend $20, $30, or whatever today, damn it, I can give something of my funds to the GoFundMe, no matter how little or what it is, folks. Give, and I can certainly take my black ass hands and pick up that phone, which I will, and I'm going to. And call the coroner's office and demand justice, demand the report that they need to get. Yes, everybody in here should do it. When I go to the GoFundMe, which I got pulled up right here on my screen, I should be able to see an increase in what they have in their budget from what I just saw a few minutes ago.
Yeah, it should be constantly running up. Should be constantly running up.
And every damn week we get on live streams. I'm guilty of it. I've been on live streams where you're arguing, you're bickering, you're talking about what black folks need to do when it comes to white supremacy, how we need to do this, what is to be this, black man and black male, female relations, and what we're going to do. And it's always about what we need to do, what we're going to do. And here you got a situation that's real. There ain't no damn pretending here. This is real deal. And if people don't get involved in some way, you may not be able to physically get there, but you can give of some time, like calling that coroner's office for one. If we can't do that, then you're just a bunch of phonies and balonies and pretenders. And I don't, and for one, when I built my platform, Brother X, I never came on here with the intention to be phony baloney. Now, there's people out there who might want to say, oh, Info trying to be pro, he's a fake pro. I'm not trying to be fake. I'm not trying to rob my people, rip my people off. I bring these type of brothers on the platform because my heart is in a good place for our people, Brother X. And I feel like I should be using my platform and anybody for the betterment of our people, giving information. This was important because she's not getting any media attention. They're not worried about her. Here we are as Black folks on YouTube. We got platforms. Some of us got 30,000 people following us. Some of us got 5,000, 1,000, 800, whatever the hell we got. Why can't we use it for some good? And that's why I want to see how many people like yourself are going to reach out to me, reach out to Brother Muhammad, Gab Talk Media, and say, we want to bring the sister on our platform. How many?
Not many.
And if you don't see too many, that tells you everything you need to know about these individuals on YouTube. It tells you every goddamn thing you need to know. I should have people emailing me today saying, info, I got to get her on the show. Info, can you make contact with Brother Muhammad? Info, what's her number? I should have that.
Yep. Email should be flooded.
And if I don't, it tells me everything I need to know. Because you judge a tree by the goddamn fruit that it bears. I'm gonna be quiet now. I've been talking enough.
Well, it's 2019, man. It's time for some new looks, man. I can't say that enough. It's time for some new looks. And you know, in the past, the looks might have been bad. The looks might have been uncoordinated and ununified. We can change that this year. We can change it, man. We can do different. It's the first day of the year. We can do different this year, man. And we can start right here, right now. Yeah, we can start right here, right now. Like you said, Brother Info, this is a defining moment for brothers on YouTube. Because like I said, I mean, she's more than welcome to come on my platform. She's more than welcome whenever she wants. You know, she can come on tomorrow because Brother Muhammad will be on tomorrow. She can come on tomorrow, the next day. I have no problem with it. You know, because the more people that hear this, the more people who could possibly not only give a helping hand, but help to pressure those who are keeping the information away from her. Pressure those who are part of this cover-up. Pressure those who are hiding things. You understand?
Exactly. At the end of the day, we know that we have philosophical differences on this Black YouTube. We got all these different sectors, right? But when it comes to something like this happening to one of our own, that's where we got to put aside all these ideologies and philosophies that we have on Black YouTube. Put that shit to the side, rally around our people and support. Because everybody, other groups support their kind. Why can't we support our own, right? Black folks, we say constantly, crabs in the barrel. We say constantly, why don't we support Black businesses? We say constantly, why don't we do this? If Black people can come together. If I had a dime for every time I've heard Black people say, we got to come together, and I said it myself, I would be rich. I'd be a billionaire right now. Because we always say come together. This is the perfect example. Come together, support the sister, call Brother Maurice Muhammad if you need additional information. If you have family members or people that you know that live in the area that could get involved, get on the phone and call your family members. If you have connections to people that work in security, whoever, if you have connections that you can't tell us about right now, get on the phone and make those connections. Network. So thank you, Brother Maurice Muhammad. Brother, you have any last words? Because I'm gonna end this.
Yes, sir, brother. I just want to say thank you and thank everybody who came to our panel. Brother TPOT, I look forward to being on your program tomorrow. Family, we are all we got. And if we don't stand up and protect and do everything that's necessary, then it's just going to continue. As I said earlier, there has been 23 other people who were killed by Black people. I mean, killed by the police. They killed 23 other Black people since Danye was murdered. We are the ones that can stop it, and we are the ones that have to stand up to make that happen. And Brother Information Man, I thank you again. And all the people that were in the chat room and getting the buzz out and getting the word out and going and donating. Powerful, powerful. Love you, beloved. Love you.
Love you too, brother. What I'm going to do at this moment, I'm going to give a few shout outs to folks in the chat room that have been with us the whole time as I begin to hit the button to end the program. So let me say to Rosalind, thank you, sister, for being here. Patience for being here. Brenda Johnson, I love you, sister, for being here. We've got Cassandra Check for being here. Old Reliable, thank you for being here. Andre Toppin Jr. has been following me for a long time. Taylor Green, Underrated Darkness, my brother. I gotta bring brother I can't end it without bringing him on, because I need to hear his word. So I'm bringing you on before I end anything, Underrated Darkness, because I need to hear from you. I need to hear from you. I got to hear from this brother. And I need to hear from Brother Art real quick before I end anything. I got to hear from these brothers. I have to. I must before I end anything. So come on in, because I need to hear from you. Because I know Underrated Darkness, he's going to feel some kind of way. This is the thing, Brother X, that blew me away what the sister said. And they had women that came over to her house, strapped, ready to fight. But yet the black men cowered out in this community, not rallying around her. And she was involved, he was involved in supporting some of the what was happening in Ferguson. She knew Darren Seals. She knew some of the other activists that mysteriously ended up, dead, murdered. Underrated Darkness, brother. What are your thoughts? You heard the interview. It was emotional in here. A lot of things were said. We had a good conversation late last night. What are your thoughts? We as black men got to do a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, we gotta do a lot better.
Swear to God.
And somebody's talking.
Let me hey, Brother Maurice Muhammad is talking to his wife. Okay, go right ahead, Underrated Darkness.
Peace to the panel, peace to the chat. I feel the time is always we have to motivate, we have to move, we have to do the work. That's all I can say. Just do the work. We have to do the work. We have to be on the same core. Just as we talked about last night. I think despite how my internet shut down this morning by a few hours, but what I'm saying, it's a good thing that brothers that in different aspects that us as brothers, especially as black men, we talking now. It's time to do the work, and I believe that we are going to do that. And like I said before, that we have to have that mentality to be team players. Each of us, we already proved that we could be leaders, but some of us we got to be willing to be team players and keep the movement going. And that's very important. So I enjoy, this guy emotional and understanding that this been going on for a long time. And we cannot rely on outsiders. We have to do this for ourselves. And that's it.
Okay. I'm looking at the GoFundMe. I'm gonna click this refresher button and see what we got. Okay. Whoa. I see an increase from what it was when I first opened it up. So I have to say to folks that have been listening, thank you. There's an increase in what I originally noticed before. I'm about to put my money in there in just a moment because I have the screen pulled up, the account information that I have to put in. JT, I think we as black, anytime you're hearing that sisters are stepping up to protect her and black men are falling to the back, but yet we want to beat our chest about we's men. we's alpha men. And we want to have these philosophical debates about beta males and simps and all that. You can't be any more simpish than that if you're not going to protect. This is not a ratchet type of female here. This is a woman that was active in her community. So oftentimes we'll say, well, do I give up my life or do I protect a woman that isn't worthy of my protection? Of course, our family, our wives, and our sisters and our nieces are worthy of our protection. Yes, they are. But this sister, by all accounts, she has herself together. She had a son that was thriving, doing well. He wasn't out in she wasn't a black woman that raised a son that was out there cutting up. He was doing the right things. And she has a husband. And the brother is involved. I mean, damn it. Let me be quiet. I'm through. I'm really disappointed on a lot of levels.
Yeah, well, we can make good on this, man. Like I said, it's a new year, man. We can leave all that other stuff behind, man, and we can start today, man, and actually do something that actually makes a real difference in real lives. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we can actually do something that makes a real difference in real lives. I'm about to jump off, but I want to say peace to everybody. Thank you, brother Info Man, for having me on. I'm gonna give y'all a shameless plug tomorrow on the old TPOT YouTube channel. Hours of Power. That's right. Hours of Power. And we'll be leading off with Brother Maurice Muhammad himself and Why You Mad TV. So we're going to get into this some more tomorrow, even deeper. Hopefully, Lady Melissa is feeling up to it. If she is, like I said earlier, she's welcome to come on too. But y'all come on down to the old TPOT YouTube page and get some more of this good stuff coming from the brothers. All right. So with that, I'm gonna say peace to everybody. Peace, Info Man, brother TUD, and brother Muhammad. I look forward to speaking with you tomorrow, brother. Peace.
Yes, sir, big brother. I'll be there.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. Brothers, take care. Brother Maurice Muhammad, take care of yourself, brother. Love you. Underrated Darkness, thank you for being here. Brother X, thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody in the chat room, for being here. I appreciate this. This is beautiful. And we're going to keep this going. Support Melissa, Sister Melissa. Support her. Go to the GoFundMe page. Call that coroner's number. Give them hell. Do what you can, Black people. Love you all. Thank you.
Love you too.
Information is value. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's blessings and love. It's blessings and love.
Peace, blessings, and love, everybody. Thank you for being here. Once again, I'm going to keep repeating this. Go and support if you can. No, not if you can. Go and support the GoFundMe page. Please go and support that. The sister needs our support. She needs to see that people are rallying around her. And I really want to see us do better in 2019. I want to see us rally around this sister. Let me stop my little page. I want to see us rally around this sister, support what this sister's about, and make this a great year. I want Black YouTube to be a year in which we can unify, connect with each other, and do better. And just do better, Black people. Sometimes we do bicker and we do have our debates on panels. And sometimes it's necessary to have some debates because, you have to have discussion. And we know that we can be emotional. We can speak our mind and hold our positions. But even with us holding our positions and speaking our mind, we can always come together when necessary to rally around one of our own, a brother, a sister, a child in our community across this country, and show solidarity, show that we do care about each other. that we're not just on here just giving talk and blowing smoke, that we're really willing to put our thoughts and what we believe in into action. Because I always believe that you don't judge what a person says, you judge them by what they do. Those who showed up in the chat room today, you are committed. I thank you. I looked at the GoFundMe page and it looks like there is an increase in their funding because of this stream. I feel tremendously proud of that. I see you, Penny Sparks. I see Rosalind. I see Nicole Diaz. I see Woke. I see Six Flags Days in there. I see Cassandra. I see Lewis Jakes. I see Queen. I Know I Am. I see we got Plant in there. Planet. We've got Patience, Taylor Green. We got a number of people in there. Everybody that super chatted me, I appreciate that. And I appreciate that. But I'm going to give a donation to the sisters GoFundMe. We got the guy from Texas. Embrace is in there. August Dreams. Taylor Green again. Let me stroll up. TJ. Andre Toppin Jr. We got 77777. Thank you for being here. I think Nicole Ali came in today. So I want to say much love and respect to her. We've got Country Love in the chat room. We got I Am Solomon in there. Peace, brother, to you. We got Jet Africa, and we got A Brown. And let me see, keeping this going. We got the great shark that came in. Anybody that I did not mention, I apologize. Let me just probably cut and paste a couple of names and put them in the chat and say peace to you as I get ready to end this. Let me see. A lot of folks came in today, so I really appreciate that. And let me see, who else do we have in here? Strolling up high. I think Real Aaron Collins came in today. Underrated Darkness. Brenda Johnson came in. I want to thank once again Brother Karima, who came on board with us. I want to thank Brother Gab Talk Media again. I want to thank Brother Maurice Muhammad. I want to thank Brother X Prophet Thought Series, who came on board with us. And I want to most importantly thank Melissa Mckinnies. Melissa, the sister, the queen. I want to give her much love. I want to give much love to Danye Jones. And what they did to him was tragic. What they did to that brother was wrong. It was a lynching. It definitely was a lynching. I agree with her 100%. I had a chance to look over the information. It is no question in my mind. They did not give this sister a coroner's report, which we need to give them hell for that coroner's report. They did not give this sister a proper medical examination when the dispatcher told them to take the body down. That was wrong. They took the sheets that he was hung in, but did not take the chair for forensic examination. There are too many holes in this case, too many unanswered answers. There have been 23 people killed in this area with their connection to the protests in Ferguson. The most prominent was Darren Sales and Brother Crawford, who Sister Melissa said that she knew them as activists like herself. She was known for organizing, and she beat a case against the police, the system there. And I think this is all about retaliation. This is all about trying to get her back, stalking her family. And she said, we can't go that far. She said, we don't want to move out of the house because they won't let us get back in when we use private investigators to investigate the case. This is why they need the GoFundMe money. So with that said, I want to thank everybody out there for listening. And you know what I'm going to always do? Listen to this very carefully, because we can take a lesson from this, Black people. We really can. Have a good day, evening, and night wherever you are. Love you all for the support. Come on, Black YouTube. Let's make this a great year in 2019 for Black YouTube. Thank you.